at last. But how changed you are.
Not really.
All plump and rosy you are.
At least it agrees with your health.
Look how your mother insisted on coming down to welcome you back, dear. Go to her.
Excuse me. You'll see to Mrs. Houghton.
Hello, Mother.
Child, you look dreadful. It isn't you.
Oh, it's the uniform, Venus. She's not used to seeing you like this.
I can't understand that any young girl from any upbringing whatsoever, would want to choose such an occupation. I just don't understand it. If I didn't know better, I'd think you take some sort of perverse pride. Yes, pride in making yourself unmarriageable. My word, you're 27 years old.
28.
28 years old, and you've done nothing but stack the odds against yourself. First by turning down perfectly good boys from good families, for no other reason than you don't know your own mind. That young man from Australia.
Alexander.
I'm surprised you even remember their names. So little interest do you show them. So what was wrong with Alexander?
Miss Frost didn't like his teeth.
Oh, sharp like they were. But she might still have married him.
And that other young man, Arnold Arthur?
Eyes like a flounder.
Who do you think you are? The Rani of Sarawak? I understand a young woman wanting to improve her station. It is the right and sensible thing to do. But you snub even your betters. Perfectly good boys. One refusal after another.
You mustn't upset yourself, Mrs. Houghton.
I will speak my piece. Surely I've earned the right. All my life I've kept silent, hoping people would see sense. But no, the house of Houghton has steadily fallen. Between your father's business schemes and your incomprehensible behaviour. First it was the refusals, and now this. What man, fit to call himself a man, would want a wife whose hands are in everyone's business down there?
I'm a trained maternity nurse. I've a use.
A respectable woman has but one use, to marry. To marry, bear children, and make a home.
Respectability strikes me as a god-awful bore.
Vina and her jokes.
Look at us. Look at this house. At our lives. Don't you just want to scream sometimes? I've been out in the world.
Among the rabble that it's not our world.
No, indeed.
From what I can see, the world of which you speak extends no further than the doorstep of Manchester House. You keep the curtains drawn at all hours. You'd think we were shadows, not living people at all. Is it any wonder that Father barely steps foot in his own home?
Hush, child. Can't you see your mother's unwell?
It's my fault, Miss Frost. I've left Alvina's upbringing in the hands of others. This is the result.
What is it that you find so disagreeable in me? Is it that I have a mind of my own? Didn't you once?
Time's past when you can afford to be all high and mighty. Now's the time to hook onto somebody, before it's too late. Expect nothing from your father. We've already seen what a bungling schemer he's turned out to be. There's nothing but foul.
In business, perhaps. But is it not worse, far worse, to fail at life? Look at all the people who failed to establish themselves on the face of the earth.
Whatever does that mean? You may as well be speaking Greek. I talk about the necessities in life. You know as well as I that unless you act swiftly, your father will leave you penniless. Who will marry you without a dowry? Not that you're bad looking, just odd. You don't hook on. And once Miss Frost and I are gone, You'll have no relatives left to go to. No one. You'll be quite alone.
I think I should like that.
Well, of course you don't mean that, dear. Vina doesn't mean it, Mrs. Houghton. She's just tired from her journey.
But I do. Why should I have said it if I didn't mean it?
There's nothing left for me but to die. Miss Frost, would you help me upstairs, please? I shall never leave my bed again.
Oh, you mustn't take it so hard, Mrs. Houghton. Vina didn't mean it. You know how she is.
They never see sense. Neither father nor daughter. Have you ever known a more wilful, mule-headed pair? I leave them to each other. There's nothing more I can do.
You needn't worry. Father and I will get on.
You might take off that uniform now.
I shall offer my services without delay. There is no lack of baby making here in Woodholm. I've done the calculations. 10 babies a month at 2 guineas each. 3 to 5 for the well-to-do.
Aren't too many in Woodholm as can afford a 2-guinea nurse. And you, Miss Vina, being of a certain class. No matter, you can always give piano lessons.
No use wasting your breath, Miss Frost. She's a schemer, like her father. Real life, real people mean nothing to them. Nothing short of utter ruin will bring them down from the clouds. Now, if you would, I'd like to go up.
Of course, Mrs. Houghton. Vina, dear, come and take your mother's other arm. These stairs get steeper every day. Well, our Alvina is really home.
You'll not hear another word from me. I've said my piece. Nothing remains now but to pray for you, my daughter.
You needn't. No, please don't do that.
Oh, here, Vina, let me help you with that. Oh, dear, dear Mrs. Houghton and her monograms. Her perfect little stitches. Thousands upon thousands of dear little stitches. Still can't believe she's gone.
You say that every time we speak.
Because it is true. Surely you must feel it too, this awful ache.
If I did, I would say so. There are still the rest of her things to sort through. Once I've emptied the wardrobes, I shall occupy her room. I've always liked the view.
So soon, dear? Your mother's barely cold in her grave. Mind did it upset your father? Was all moving about Manchester House.
What does it matter? He barely leaves the shop.
Who would have expected Mr. Houghton to take it so hard? The way he wept and wailed at her funeral.
He paid little enough attention to her while she lived.
Oh, who's to say they didn't love each other in their way?
Where could I have left my pipe? Your mother always knew how to find it.
Oh, it's right here, Mr. Houghton, all clean and ready. While we're together, the three of us, there's the matter of the gravestone, the epitaph.
I don't know. What does one say? Alvina?
Beloved wife and mother, born on such and such a date, died on such and such a date.
But surely there's more you'd like to say. Something a bit more personal?
Seems quite adequate to me, especially with the engraver charging by the letter.
But Mrs. Houghton was special. Her love of horticulture, of poetry, or perhaps a line from a poem. Keats was a particular favourite.
Keats at 5 bob a letter.
A thing of beauty is a joy forever, she used to say. Or, now a soft kiss. Aye, by that kiss I vow an endless bliss.
Froth. Let Alvina take care of it. A cup of tea would be nice.
I'll take it to you, Mr. Houghton, as soon as we tie up this parcel for the charity shop.
Charity? But the things are practically new.
See what he's like.
I can't fault your father for thrift, but your poor mother.
What does it matter now? The dead can't read their epitaphs. Besides, Keats can be so...
Romantic?
Sentimental. And as if feelings ever counted for anything in Woodholm.
Perhaps, dear. But what Keats was saying, your mother believed.
A woman whose life was utterly devoid of sentiment.
We don't know that, Vina. Your father might once have romanced her. She was lovely as a newlywed, brimming over.
And he shut her away in this house to plan menus and polish silver.
Your mother would never polish silver. She had a servant for that.
Don't you see? It's this house.
Oh, what about this house? A fine house it is, the finest on the high street.
I can't stay here all my life. I know I can't. I can't bear it. I'm buried alive, simply buried alive. And it's more than I can stand. It is, really.
But what do you want, dear?
I want to go away.
But where do you want to go?
I don't know. I don't care. Anywhere, so long as I can get out of Woodholm.
Do you wish now you had married that Australian?
Not really. Australia isn't the only other place besides Woodholm.
Well, now that the nursing hasn't worked out, you know, dear, if you knew what you wanted, it would be easier to see the way.
What use would it be to know? Women never get what they want. Look at my mother. She only wanted what every woman wants, to be made happy.
As if the only aim and end of a man's life was to make some woman or parcel of women happy. Why should anybody expect to be made happy?
Well, I shan't expect it. I won't feel anything anymore.
Nonsense, dear. You'll feel things.
I shall never have a heart to.
When you're in mourning, you can't expect to be all there. But time brings it all back.
Say what you like. I don't believe it. As long as I am under this roof, I shall never feel anything ever again.
Daydreaming. It's all I ever see you do anymore.
Oh, if there's something needs doing, Mr. Houghton.
Come and sit down, Miss Frost. There's a matter we must discuss most urgently.
Not the household expenses again.
The importance of thrift cannot be overstated, my dear. But no, this is quite another matter, an altogether different matter.
You're looking well, sir, I must say, isn't he, Vina?
Why shouldn't he look well?
We've had a fair amount of sunshine this season.
As I was saying, I've been to Lumley.
A dull place, if you ask me.
Exactly. But where the average person sees dullness, I see opportunity. Virgin soil.
Another business venture. I knew it.
Do you think that's wise, Mr. Houghton, given the shop and all?
Hear me out. You've both seen the cinematograph and variety show in Woodholm, with all the people lining up outside it, shillings in hand. Oh, I missed a chance there. I missed a grand chance. I ought to have been the first with the cinema. But Lumley doesn't have a cinema or a theatre. No popular novelties at all.
Don't have and don't want. Sure, if they wanted such amusements, they'd have them.
A project of that magnitude requires vision.
And capital.
Not as much as you may think. I shall make economies.
First it was textiles, then ready to wear, then coal.
Oh, it is most unbecoming for a lady to speak of things of which she has no knowledge.
If I lack knowledge, it is only because the avenue to acquiring it is not open to a lady.
Come now, Alvina. The fairer sex is quite unsuited to the rigours of industry. I've always provided, have I not?
Well, if it's pin money you're wanting, Vina, you could always start up your piano lessons again.
Oh, how you do harp.
Miss Frost has a point.
I was only suggesting.
Your aptitude for music could be a greater asset than you realise.
Oh, who could that be? No one's come calling since the funeral.
That will be Mr. May, a most resolute knock, and punctual to boot.
We don't know any Mr. May.
It's time you do. He's my new manager.
What manager, Mr. Houghton? What manager?
What manager? My manager. The manager of my cinema. Chop, chop, show the man in.
Oh, heaven help us.
You've upset her.
Miss Frost is the least of my concerns. And you, couldn't you show a tad more enthusiasm?
Why? I feel none.
You are too blunt, child. Did your mother never teach you to...
Lie?
Welcome to Manchester House. My daughter, Alvina. Alvina, Mr. May.
Enchanted, Miss Houghton. What a charming home. So what do you think? Isn't it a brilliant scheme?
Wonderful.
We're still in the process of negotiating for the machinery, the dynamo and so on. Of course, the edifice will be a merely temporary one. Of course, it won't be anything to look at, just an old wooden travelling theatre. But then all we need is to make a start.
And you, I suppose, are going to work the film.
Well, yes. I spend every evening with the projectionist at Marsh's in Narborough. Very interesting, I find it. Very interesting indeed. And you, Miss Houghton, are going to play the piano?
She certainly is not the very notion.
Come now, Alvina can play as well as anyone in Woodhome. We mustn't add to our expenses.
But what do you say, Miss Houghton?
I don't suppose I have any say.
Oh, but surely you won't do it if you don't wish to. That would never do. Couldn't we hire some young fellow?
Yes, you must. It will tire Alvina to death.
Well, if it comes to that, I can accompany some of the acts myself when I'm not operating the film. I'm no virtuoso, but I play a little, you know. Ling-a-longa Lucy, ling-a-longa Lou, how I love to ling-a-longa, ling-a-long of you.
That's settled then. Alvina will play the piano. And I've been thinking, if Miss Frost will take the cash and issue tickets, if she will take over the ticket office, and you will play the piano, and if Mr. May learns the controls of the machine, and if I am the indoors attendant, we shan't need any more staff.
Miss Frost won't take the cash, Father.
Let her speak for herself. Why not? Why ever not? Oh. You think I do this for myself? It's your futures too. Oh, hush, do, woman. No one is indispensable.
Of course, if she doesn't wish to.
Plainly.
What do you say to a spot of tea? In my study.
Ladies, a pleasure. I'll see you at the theatre then, Miss Houghton.
What can he have been thinking? Buying a cinema show? And that man?
Mr. May, you didn't seem a bad sort. But what are we going to do with a cinema show?
It's what are they going to do? Doesn't concern me. It's no concern of mine. I shall not lend him anything. I shall not think about it. It will be the same to me as if there were no cinema, which is all I have to say.
But he's gone and done it.
Well, then let him go through with it. It's no affair of mine, after all. Your father's affairs don't concern me. It would be impertinent of me to introduce myself into them.
They don't concern me very much either.
Oh, you're different. You're his daughter. I mean, he's no connection of mine, I'm glad to say. Thank goodness your poor mother isn't here to see it.
Father will never change.
That's where it is. He sees me issuing tickets, does he? Yes, well, I'm afraid he will have to do that himself. And you're going to play the piano? It's a disgrace. A disgrace. He's lost every bit of shame. Every bit, if he ever had any. Well, all I can say, I'm glad I'm not concerned. And I'm sorry for you, for being his daughter. I'm heart sorry for you, I am.
You needn't be. Father will be in his eye holes with delight, and I I will be no worse off than I am at present.
No worse off? Of course you will be. You're above it and must remain above it. Go beneath your class and you lose its privileges, lose respectability itself.
I shan't miss it. Shan't miss it at all.
You don't know what you are saying. You will be lost and lost forever. My poor lost girl.
We are the Nachakitawara, tribe of Kishwegian, a proud and ancient people. Tonight you will witness a ritual hidden from the eyes of the white man, our mating ritual. Only one brave can carry me off to his wigwam. Which one will it be?
I'd fancy a go.
Hey! Steady on now. Okay. Just one more chorus should do it. Con molto espressione, as they say. End with a bang! First rate act, don't you think?
A tad exotic for the locals.
Well, people had a grand time, didn't they? I mean, novelties must be novel after all.
People want to see themselves. You don't know the common people. You don't know how conceited they are.
I can't imagine people like that. Why, for me, the whole joy is in the personality, the curious personality of the artiste.
I don't think I see what makes them any more curious than ourselves.
Well, how can you, when you've not known any? But you're in for a surprise, I can assure you. Ah, here comes your father now.
Ha! Not bad, I thought, for a first night. Splendid, even.
And the takings?
I shall have to count them, but not bad at all.
Ah, was it not marvelly, mes amis? Ah, we must toast. I have been saving a bottle of champagne. We must toast the success of your pleasure palace. While the seats are still warm, one never knows what the next performance may bring.
Awfully kind of you, Madame Rochard, but Mr. May and I must close up. No rest for the wicked.
I do not think you wicked enough, monsieur. Work, work, that is no life. You are in the business of pleasure.
Please, madame, I run a family establishment.
We too are a family of sorts, my boys and I. Not as sauvage as we may appear. Perhaps in reality we are a tribe, a nomadic tribe, following the public's whims as much as the Red Indians follow the buffalo. But you are new to the theatre.
Oh, I did a bit of Gilbert and Sullivan back in school.
Then it is in your blood. We are not so different, you and I.
All the same, I really must put things in order. Mr. May?
If you should change your mind. But your daughter will join us, certainement.
Kind of you, but...
Miss Houghton does not drink.
And Miss Frost will be waiting up.
I accept your invitation most gratefully, madame. I should so like to learn more about the Red Indians.
Whatever for?
Avec plaisir, mon ami. I shall make you part of the Nachakitawara tribe of Kishwegian. Is that not better? What is your name?
Alvina.
But you must have an Indian name. I will give you one. Allez, do you like it?
Yes, very much.
Your Christian name has always suited.
There's nothing Christian about it. Anyway, I think I shall prefer a tribe to a family.
Then come, my belle Allez. You are one of us now.
Father, Mr. May, please tell Miss Frost that I will be home late. Quite late, I suspect.
Go in, go in! Don't be shy. Chez nous there are no strangers. Go! It will make the boys happy. That is Max. I shall tell you only their names and not their family names, because that will be easier for you. And that is Francesco. Frank. He doesn't like his English name of Frank. You will see. He pulls a face. No, he doesn't like it. We call him Ciccio. And these are my family of young men. We are drawn from 3 patrie, though only Ciccio is not of our mountains. Oh, will you please to sit down?
Oh, I shall, thank you.
As a rule, I do not like them to drink, but tonight they have a little champagne. I do not take any because, I am afraid of inflaming myself, and a woman must tend herself like a garden.
Seems futile, rather, if in the end you will only go to seed.
Ooh, you have wit, eh?
Oh, I did not mean it in that way. Sometimes I find myself saying the most peculiar things.
But you must say them. It is your nature, and one must never go against one's nature.
Oh, not for me, thank you.
Oh, but you must have a little, or you will offend him. Oh, dear, good-hearted Max.
Just a drop, then.
In vino veritas, the Natchitoches tribe of Kishwegian, sober or not, are an honest people. Bottoms up, allez. Santé.
See, she likes.
But do tell me, madame, how you came to know about the Red Indians. I suppose you lived amongst them?
Moi? Moi? Live with Red Indians? Moi, in a wigwam with a papoose strapped to my back? It is too droll.
But you know their customs.
Oh, I do not know any Red Indians. Oh, they turn up at carnivals from time to time. Oh, so sad are their faces. And what can one learn from sadness? I invent their customs.
But is it right to present them as something they are not? To pretend like that?
Why would I present them as they are? That would not be art.
It just seems... I don't know. I assumed.
That's what people do. Assume. And always they are wrong. Moi? I assume nothing.
But is that possible? One would live in a state of perpetual surprise.
Exactly. Exciting, no?
Unsettling, rather.
Listen to Ciccio. Always playing that mandolin of his. They are homesick, the Italians, toujours.
He is Italian.
He is. What do you think? Have you ever seen a Red Indian pine like that? Not only is he Italian, but Neapolitan, and therefore impossible. Max, on the other hand, is Swiss, reliable as a clock. Do you have someone, Alain?
Have someone?
Oh, a sweetheart. Why don't you marry?
Oh, nobody wants to marry me. Besides, I don't care for the men of Woodholm either. I couldn't.
But why?
Oh, I don't know. The way they swagger, and that smell of wet wool.
Oh, but there are other men. Russians, Prussians, Spaniards, men to fit every taste. Oh, in my day. The flowers, the bonbons. But now, with the Natchitoches, I belong to my boys.
Too good she is to us.
But don't the boys have someone? A sweetheart?
How? If we are always travelling from place to place, a week here, a week there. The women, always they like my boys. Huh, Ciccio? These drifters from the south, they do not know the effect they have on us women.
Quite.
But you are English.
Yes, I suppose.
And English women are so practical. And in the end, if there's property...
I don't see what that has to do with anything.
A romantic.
Certainly not.
Then you don't see because, you have never been poor. You live in many rooms and dine at a polished table and have never had to lift a finger for any of it.
Manchester House is unlucky for me. I've always known it. My mother dried up like a leaf and died of gloom. Why would my life be any different?
A woman makes her luck.
How?
By being a woman.
But is that possible? Society makes demands of one, family, and the 1001 thou shalt nots.
Society! I have never given it a thought. More champagne, allez?
Or perhaps a few more bubbles.
Play something happy, Ciccio, yes? Really?
Even their happy songs are sad, the Italians. They love the suffering. Tous les Italiens.
I must go abroad. I should like to see Italy one day.
I would have thought you of a more northern disposition. But Italy? Pourquoi pas?
What's this? I was just heading into the theatre.
Oh, so early, dear.
I thought I'd see how the troupe is settling in. Midland Air doesn't agree with everyone.
Sit down.
Well, I'd rather not. They're expecting me.
I think it's best that you sit down, Miss Houghton. You see...
We had to let them go. The troop.
The Nachikitawara? What do you mean you've let them go?
Steady on, Vina. Your father had no choice.
First of all, it was the ladies' auxiliary. Word had gotten out about the act, the scanty costumes, the carnality of it.
I don't understand.
Some of the women thought it unwholesome, with particular reference to the dark-complected young man who performs bare torsoed. Some of the women think he exudes something, well, unwholesome.
Indecent.
Nonsense. I don't see what the matter is.
Well, the matter is the women of Lumley.
The matter is their whatever you call them. The way they dance around half naked like beasts of the wild. The women of Lumley find it...
The dark-complected one especially.
Well, of course, we tried to discuss the matter with Nachikit or whatever, with the greatest delicacy, like civilized people.
There's no reasoning with some people.
I'm afraid, Miss Houghton, things got out of hand.
Threats, curses, and then that savage came at me with a knife.
The dark-complected one?
A theatrical knife, not an actual knife.
Well, what did you say to him, Father? You had to have provoked him somehow.
No, not at all. Well, I did call him an Italian.
A lout of an Italian, as I recall, Mr. Houghton.
Oh, did I? Oh, fair enough, if that's what he was behaving like.
I believe I also caught the term hussy. French hussy, to be precise.
In reference to whom? Not Madame Rochard.
Do you know another French hussy in Lumley?
Oh, Father, you must apologise.
Bollocks. A proprietor doesn't apologise. I paid them off. Cost me nearly all the takings.
Well, where are they now? I must go to them.
Vina? I call that too much. And besides, it's dangerous. It ought to be put a stop to. I don't believe in letting these show people take liberties.
I do think you go on in the most unattractive way sometimes. You're a regular spoilsport.
It's childish, dear, their way of sport. Pretending to be Red Indians. I can't very well approve.
Well, you can't disapprove of it as much as I hate your spoilsport existence.
Alvina, are you mad?
Wonder I'm not, considering what my life is.
It has come to this. Couldn't you, just once, have a thought for me? I may not count for much in your estimation, but for those first few days, I dared believe. The gaslights all lit up, the smile on people's faces. It felt like hope. Oh.
Don't let me keep you, Mr. May.
Of course. Well, miss, it's not my place. You might still catch them.
I thought I'd missed you.
Oh! But how pale you are! Have you run all this way? Oh, pauvre allée, pale and wasted as spilt milk.
I'm afraid I'm in the way.
Pas du tout, pas du tout.
I wish to apologise for my father's behaviour.
Oh, dear Mr. Houghton, what a fright Ciccio gave him. No, you must not blame your father. Lumley was not ready for us.
That doesn't excuse him. He might have stood his ground.
He did what was sensible.
But that doesn't make it right.
Oh, right, wrong, such brittle words. Sometimes a man just protects what he loves, and I do not think any the less of him for that. Let us speak of it no more.
And Ciccio?
So I was right. You have the ardour for him.
I didn't say that.
Max is the better catch, of course. Simple, and his family own a clock factory. Ciccio has the fire only, no factory.
I've never cared for commerce, and clocks drive me mad.
We haven't much time. Let me give you a little token of my gratitude. It is not much, because we are not millionaires in the Nachikitawara. Just a little souvenir of our troublesome visit to Lumley.
But I don't want to take them.
You don't like them? Why?
Oh, I think they're lovely, lovely. But I don't want to take them from you.
If I give them, you do not take them. You receive them. There is a difference.
But I don't like to take these. I feel they belong to the Nachikitawara. Do take them back.
No. I have given them.
Well, I'm sure they're much too small for me. See?
Oh. Then I will have to find you something else.
Oh, please don't. Please don't find me anything. I don't want anything, please.
No, all right then. I won't give you anything.
I'm awfully sorry you're going.
But perhaps we will see you another time. I shall send you a postcard.
Oh, I should be awfully glad. I do love the slippers.
But they do not fit. No, I will send you some small thing from the Nachikitawara. And one of my young boys will bring it to you. Max, no? Ciccio, huh?
Perhaps, yes. Well, goodbye.
But here he is now. Miss Houghton has come to say adieu. I have just remembered something. Be a good boy, Ciccio, and finish up here. We shan't say goodbye, Allez. A bientôt.
So, you're going?
It's how we live. A week here, a week there.
Far away?
Not far.
So you'll come back?
Perché cosa? The people, they do not want us. They have not the culture.
I see. But Madame has something that she'd like you to bring me after you go. Will you do that? Won't you come? You will come, won't you?
You love me, yes? Yes?
It seems so.
Yes, you do. Yeah, it seems. Love knows.
Yes, then. I do love you.
Malay. I come next week.
The engraver sent his boy by this morning. Seems there's still Owens on the gravestone. Post has already been, dear. More bills.
And the takings?
Not keeping up. Novelties. People weary of them, then it's back to the pub. Oh, Mrs. Thayer's down with pleurisy again. I'd take her a basket only. With the economies, I'd have to write it into the household accounts, of course.
Take her the basket.
But your father?
I will not live under tyranny. Make up the basket at once and take the old woman my shawl.
Your new shawl? The cashmere? Won't you miss it?
Well, yes, I shall miss it awfully, but where is the charity in giving what won't be missed?
Oh, I'm sorry now that I mentioned it. A collier's widow swaddled in cashmere. Penny for your thoughts. I didn't know better, Vina. I'd think you had a bee in your bonnet.
Oh, I do think needlework the silliest occupation. I shan't take another stitch.
Nearly there, Mr. Houghton. Just a few more steps.
What in God's name?
Father?
Miss Houghton, I'm afraid there's been a...
I'm all right.
Sure you are. Just lie down and you'll soon be dancing a jig.
A spot of brandy's what's needed.
I'm all right, I tell you. Don't bother.
Can you manage? Lay him here. Tell me what's happened.
I passed out in a cold faint in the ticket office.
Drink this, Mr. Houghton. It'll put the life force back into you.
Oh, leave me alone. Will you leave me alone? Hectored by women all my life. Hectored by women, first one, then another. I won't stand for it.
Hey, steady on, Mr. Houghton. There's no use working up a head of steam about it. Just best let yourself be fussed over for a few days, eh?
Oh, women, such cloying creatures. I won't have all this display. Go on with the performances. There's no need to bother about me.
Father's exhausted himself.
What have I said all along? Ever since they opened that accursed pleasure palace. Palace indeed.
Happy now, are you? You've been waiting to see me fail, the both of you. Waiting to see me go down. Well, you'll not have that satisfaction. I'll get up again. I'll fight. I'll conquer. I'll have a dozen cinematographs before I'm through.
Of course you will, Mr. Houghton.
100. And there'll be new novelties. Things never before imagined. Spectacles that can only be dreamt. People lining up as far as the eye can see.
God, he's delirious. If only he'd rest.
Can you get on without him for a while, Mr. May?
I'll take over the ticket office myself, Miss Houghton. But the piano? You're coming as usual?
Make an end to it, I say. Put it down to Mr. Houghton's schemes, the old rotten lot of them. Must we all be struck low before you see the wrongness of it?
I'll go in tonight, unless Father should take a turn.
What he did to your mother. It will be worse for you. It will be your ruin.
Perhaps you wish to give the matter more thought?
Not at all. The matter is quite plain. Father wants the performance to go on, and so it shall. Is that so much to ask?
Poor Mr. Houghton. Docile as a lamb toward the end. Melted my heart, he did.
A gentleman through and through.
The squire sent a nice note, called Mr. Houghton a pillar of the community.
Good home has lost a great man.
Oughtn't someone see to the gravy?
Fancy those people! And I'll warrant they want to be at the funeral. As if Mr. Houghton was anything to them. Quick, Mr. May, distract them, detain them while I have a word with Vina.
Right. Awkward. I've never been any good at...
If you please!
What is there to discuss? I invited them, and they've come.
Do you fancy your father would have wanted such people following his casket? I can't make you out, Vina. And who is this dark-complected man keeps sending you these lovesick looks? Not that naked savage from the troop.
Ciccio.
Oh, I've never heard such a name. Doesn't sound like a name at all. Anyway, there won't be room in the cab.
We'll order another.
Oh, more expense? I never knew such impertinent people.
Oh, pauvre petite! Oh, my dear girl, the shock! Tell us how it happened.
Well, there's little to tell.
And will you keep on with the theatre with Mr. May?
It depends. You will stay to the funeral?
Oh, my dear, we shall be too much.
Oh, not at all. I've made arrangements.
Fate's on her, boys. Pay your respects at the casket. I myself cannot look upon the dead without inflaming myself. It is too much at my age. It all seems so sudden. And Bellum dead in a day. Oh, and what will you do now, Elay? Marry Ciccio? Marry Ciccio simply because he is willing and near at hand?
You rush to conclusions.
I have seen it 1,000 times.
I do like him.
But you know nothing of him. Nothing. How can you like him, not knowing him? He may be a real bad character. How would you like him then?
Well, he isn't, is he?
Oh, I don't know. He may be. He has been with me for 3 years, but what can I say with certainty? He is a man of the people, a boatman, a labourer, an artist's model. He sticks to nothing.
How old is he?
Oh, 25. A boy only. You are older.
I shall soon be 30.
Oh, 30. Well, now that's not so much a difference. How can you trust him? Why would he want to marry you? Why?
I don't know that he does.
Oh, I know something of these Italian men who are labourers in every country. Just labourers and undermen always, always down, down, down. And so, when they have a chance to come up, they are very bold, and they will take their chance. He will want to rise by you, and you will go down. That is how it is.
But he can't rise much because of me, can he?
How not? In the first place, you are English, and he thinks to rise by that. Then, you are not of the lower class, you are of the higher class, the class of the masters, such as employ Ciccio and men like him. How will he not rise in the world by you? Yes, he will rise very much. Or he will draw you down, down. And then he thinks that now you have money, now that your father is dead, and Italians, they all like money. Yes, very much. Toutes les Italiens.
Do they? Well, I'm sure there won't be any money. I'm sure my father is in debt.
Really? Oh, pauvre Allais! And will you tell Ciccio?
Well, yes, certainly, if it matters.
Of course it matters. Of course. It matters to him, because he will not have much. He saves, as they all do, to go back to Italy and buy a piece of land. And if he has you, it will cost him more. He cannot continue with the Nachikitoara. All will be much more difficult.
Then I must tell him in time.
Yes, that is better. And then you will see. But he is obstinate, like a mule. And if he will still have you, then you must think. Can you live in England as the wife of a labouring man, a dirty Italian, as they say?
Oh, you're right. I should hate to be the wife of a labourer, living in a nasty little house on a nasty street.
In a house? They live many together in one house. It would be 2 rooms, or even 1 room.
Oh, no, I couldn't stand that.
And if you follow him home, Tompi. If you are a wife in Italy, nobody will help you. By Italian law, you are his property. It is not like England. There is no divorce in Italy, and if he beats you, you are helpless.
But why should he beat me? Why would he want to?
Oh, they do.
Then I shan't marry him. Excuse me while I see to the gravy. Come and keep our old friend company. You must both stay to dinner.
That ghastly incident at the theatre.
Oh, forgotten.
And you were well, madam?
Oh, well as one can be at a wake. Is the casket open?
Why, yes. They've laid Mr. Houghton out most handsomely.
Ah, the dead look like wax. Hideous, waxen poupée. But, tell me about the theatre. Will it go on?
Well, I don't know. I don't know Miss Houghton's intentions.
It's hers?
As far as I understand.
Nice house. Hers as well?
So I believe.
You think there will be much come to Miss Houghton?
You mean property? I really can't say. I haven't inquired.
No, but you have a good idea, huh?
I'm afraid I haven't.
Are you saying it won't be much then?
Really, I don't know. I mean, I should imagine not a large fortune.
Debts, perhaps. A mortgage?
Do you mind? This is hardly the... Excuse me.
You've asked those people to dinner, I suppose. Wasn't enough to order an additional cab? Now we must feed them. I'm sure I don't know what your father would have said. A funeral full of common show people.
My father is dead. I doubt that he minds.
Think how it looks.
What? They're perfectly presentable.
Well, come, dear. Perhaps if we say a prayer together, like when you were little.
You pray. I am going to them.
Please. You're all that I have left.
And you? All that I ever had. Both father and mother, teacher and taskmaster.
I'm not asking for thanks.
No, you're asking for far more. That I conform. That I submit.
Vina, turn your back on me and you turn your back on everything that has made you who you are.
Am I intruding?
Allez! Quelle surprise! We were not expecting you. We received no letter.
There wasn't time to send one. Truth is, I couldn't keep away.
Oh, evidently. But how did you find us?
I made inquiries, town to town. Took the better part of a week.
Oh, you had better sit down. We have only just arrived ourselves.
Do you mind?
Oh, sit. And how is everything at Woodholm?
Oh, I couldn't bear it. I couldn't bear it any longer. Miss Frost's endless weeping, the barrage of casseroles. And so I collected all the money I could, and I ran away. Nobody knows where I am.
And all that business with your father's estate? He left
Oh, they're still
will,
fussing
I suppose.
about it.
Oh, and there is some money?
Well, I have £100 here. What there will be when everything is settled, I don't know. But I thought I'd spend some before my father's creditors pluck it away.
And if there is nothing more, what do you intend?
I don't know.
And if there is something?
I don't know either. But I thought, if I could play piano for you, then I could keep myself for some time with my own money. You see, you said perhaps I might be with the Nachikitawara. I wish you would let me.
Boys! Go down to the theatre and see what condition the piano is in.
Then Eli will be staying.
That has yet to be decided. Go along now. So, Ciccio didn't come to see you?
No, yet he promised.
Do you call it a promise? You are easy to be satisfied with a word, especially from a Neapolitan. £100, no more.
120.
Take off your hat and coat, mon ami. Let Ciccio think what he likes. So much money is certain. Perhaps there will be more. Let him think.
But does it really make a difference?
Then you do intend to marry him?
I didn't say that.
They're all like that, the Italians. Tout les Italiens.
You won't say anything?
Oh, not until the cat catches the mouse. But you must let him know. Not with words, merely.
If you mean...
You mean things your mother never told you?
You mean things in novels? French novels?
Exactement! Then you are not as naive as you appear. You know what you must do.
Do I?
Oh, come now. Surely at your age. Just imagine yourself a character in a novel. Become your own heroine. Beckon like this. Ciccio will do the rest. And that is settled then. Ooh, what a fine brooch. Old paste. Antique?
No, they are real rubies. It was my great-grandmother's.
Do you mean it? Real? Are you sure?
I think I'm quite sure.
And the diamonds are real?
I've always believed so.
Another 4,000 francs there.
You can have that brooch if you like, madame.
No, I could never. A family heirloom?
I will give you that if you'd like to take it.
No, I could not take it. I could not. You don't want to give away such a thing.
I don't mind. Do take it if you like it.
No, I cannot take it. Such a beautiful thing it is. Magnifique. If it is genuine, it is worth thousands of francs.
Oh, I'm sure it's genuine. Do take it since you like it.
Oh, I cannot. I simply cannot.
Oh, yes, do.
The beautiful red gemstones, the diamonds, and you really give it to me?
Yes, I should like to.
Oh, you are a girl with a noble heart. Oh. Oh. And the piano?
Dusty.
And can it be played?
Like a sack of old nails.
I shall manage, I'm sure.
Now, boys, what do you say? Shall Miss Houghton join the Nachikitawaras? Shall she be our pianist?
But can the Nachikitawaras afford to play a pianist for themselves?
No, I think not. Miss Houghton, LA, will come to play for 1 month, to prove, and in that time she shall pay for herself. Yes, so she fancies it?
And her expenses? Can we pay?
Let me pay everything for myself, for a month. I should like to be with you. Awfully.
Ciccio? We are all agreed, then. A toast, gentlemen. I have been saving a bottle of Chianti. To LA. Tonight, the Nachikitawaras make their feast of affiliation. The white daughter has entered the tribe of the Hirondelles, swallows that pass from land to land, and build their nests between roof and wall. A new swallow, a new Huron from the tents of the paleface, from the lodges of the north. With the maiden with the red jewels, dark-hearted with the red beams, wine from the pale-face shadows, drunken wine for Kishwegian, strange wine for the braves in their night ritual. Boil! Again! We are one tribe, one nation, say it!
We are one tribe, one nation.
And no nation do we know but the nation of the Hirondelles.
No nation do we know but the nation of the Hirondelles.
Hirondelles means swallows.
Yes, I know.
Quelle fille plus intelligente! So you know. We continue. We have no law but Huron law.
We have no law but Huron law.
We have no lawgiver except Kishwegian.
We have no lawgiver except Kishwegian.
Basta, si.
Ha! Atachi! And now, Ciccio plays, and we dance.
You dance. I am not a dancer.
Tais-toi! Max, show her! Brava! Now, Max spreads his wings and we dance under. Comme ça!
It's good! Dance away!
And now the swallows fly high!
Oh, stop! I must catch my breath.
That's what it is to fly. Breathlessness, fearlessness, oblivion. Is it not sublime? But some birds will always prefer the nest. I think, Max, there is something we must do in the street.
But I am tired.
Tonight, we leave the lovebirds. Come.
You needn't go. I'm all right now.
Bonne nuit, Elle, daughter of Kishwegian.
You might have come.
You are angry with Ciccio.
Why give me reason to be?
I had to know. I thought you were too proud.
And now?
You are here.
Which is your bed? You aren't coming? Well, come in. Old place is just as bleak as I remember it.
Vina! In here, dear. Oh, let me look at you. But you're skin and bone. Are you hungry? Let me get you something.
Later, perhaps.
I don't want us to get off on the wrong foot, dear, but to just pick up and disappear like that, not even a message.
I wrote.
Eventually, yes. After Mr. May and I were already climbing the walls with worry. You might have thought of Mr. May, if not of me. I know I have fallen in your esteem, but even so. What is he doing here? I can't think why you bring him here. The whole of Woodholm is talking already.
I don't care. You're welcome to smoke.
In Mr. Houghton's armchair? And your father a month dead?
Well, what could it possibly matter? One day we'll all be dead.
I never knew such things as you say. You're not asking him to stay the night?
Yes, and I'm going back with him tomorrow to Madame Rochard. I've an engagement. I'm pianist with the troupe now.
Don't tell me you're going to marry him.
I don't know.
How can you say you don't know? Why, it's awful. You make me feel like I shall go out of my mind.
But I don't know.
It's incredible. Simply incredible. I can't believe what I'm seeing. I used to think sometimes there was something wrong with your mother. And that's what it is with you. You're not quite right in your mind. You need to be looked after.
Do I, Miss Frost? Well, don't you trouble yourself looking after me.
But if I don't, who will?
Surely you've had enough of caring for people. I've only come to settle things.
Well, Mr. May shall be by shortly. I've asked him here to explain the particulars. The will and such like.
I'll put Ciccio in the guest room.
Must you? I don't think I can stay another day under this roof.
Call me when it's time.
Oh, there you are, Mr. May. Miss Houghton is upstairs, resting from the journey. She's in one of her tempers. Oh, Warren, she's gone off her rocker.
Oh, I'm sure it's not all as bad as that.
I assure you it is.
Ah, Miss Houghton, what news have you?
Well, I don't think I've any, Mr. May. I've come to you for news.
Ah, I'm afraid there is nothing very pleasant, unfortunately, and nothing very unpleasant either, for that matter.
Then you've spoken to the lawyer?
At Miss Frost's request, it seems there are a great many claims against your father's estate.
And are all the claims in?
I believe so. Allow me to show you a statement.
Does this mean that we owe £700?
That is only on the estimate of the property. It might, of course, realise much more when sold, or it might realise less.
Less?
I wouldn't worry. Truly, I don't think the realisation of the property would amount to less than the estimate, or not much less.
But even then, there is sure to still be something owing. And then what?
Oh, well, the creditors will have to be satisfied with a little less than they claim, I suppose. Not a very great deal. I don't expect they'll complain. But now about yourself. Would you like me to negotiate with the creditors so that you could have some sort of provision? They're mostly people who know you, know your condition, and I might try.
Try what?
Well, to make some sort of arrangement. Perhaps you might retain a lease of your father's shop. Perhaps something might be done about the cinematograph. What would you like? You didn't expect it to be quite so bad.
I think I didn't.
Well, it might have been worse.
Perhaps you'd rather decide later. Once you've had a lie down, I'll do my best to get what I can for you.
Better to let everything go. No, I'd sooner be done with all the gloom and ghosts. Don't bother about me at all. I shall go away anyhow.
You'll go away?
Hear how she talks.
May I ask, Miss Houghton, if you have any definite idea where you'll go?
I've an engagement as pianist with a travelling theatrical company.
Those Red Indians who nearly butchered Mr. Houghton.
Oh, indeed. At a sufficient salary?
Quite sufficient, thank you.
So to blazes with the pleasure palace, then. You care nothing for it?
I say to blazes with it. It killed poor Mr. Houghton, isn't that enough? I have been connected to the Houghton family for many years. Many years. There are persons in Woodholm, and myself, who would not like to see Alvina driven from here destitute. The lawyer said we could come to some arrangement that would be agreeable to her and would in some measure secure her a means of livelihood. We could keep the shop and a pair of rooms. Why let it all go?
I simply can't be bothered with it. And besides, I'm going abroad.
Abroad? Where abroad?
I don't know. Italy?
Oh, mercy.
Well, in that case, we must proceed with the valuation and the preparation for the sale.
Yes, why not?
You realise that everything in Manchester House, except your own personal private property and that of Miss Frost, belongs to the claimants, your father's creditors, and may not be removed from the premises.
They're welcome to it.
Of course, any little things to which you may be attached, the claimants would no doubt wish you to regard as your own. For anything of greater value, your piano, for example, you would have to make a personal request.
Oh, I don't want anything.
She doesn't know what she's saying. Perhaps in a few days she'll be clearer in her thinking.
It's decided. I'm leaving Woodholm tomorrow by the morning train. I shan't be back. Not ever.
Well, if Miss Houghton is determined to let everything her father worked for go to rack and ruin, I don't see what further service I can render here. Good day, ladies.
Puffed up little man. I suppose he'll move on now.
And why not? Woodholm isn't heaven on earth.
It's been my home for 40 years. I always thought I'd be here, with the Houghtons to the end. I thought I had a place.
My family's done nothing but wear you down. Be grateful you're out from under, free to start again.
At my age, a person doesn't start again. It's effort enough just to live out one's days.
Please don't fret, Miss Frost. You will never want for anything, I promise. Whatever comes of the sale, whatever the claimants spare, is yours. All of it. And I shall send you something from my salary.
No, Vina dear, it's all right. I've put something aside. I'll be fine.
It won't be enough. It never is. You must take the money.
It's your inheritance. Your father would have wanted you to have it.
And I want you to have it. You must take it.
Well, I suppose I might open a little business in Tamworth. You know the Watsons are there.
I believe you'd be happy.
I wouldn't want to stay here. Anyhow. Woodholm has nothing for me anymore.
Well, of course it hasn't. I think you'd be happier away from here.
If only I could see you now and again.
I shall have to leave the troupe. Now that I'm in reduced circumstances, they can barely keep their socks darned. I'd only be a burden.
Then you needn't go so soon.
I shall go and tell them face to face. They won't miss me much, I think.
And that young man you brought with you?
I guess I shan't marry him after all. I shall go back to nursing and take a position in a hospital.
Oh, that sounds sensible, dear, despite what your poor mother might have said. Times change and a young woman ought to be able to look after herself.
I wish you wouldn't use that word. Sensible. I have an aversion to it.
But you won't change your mind about the foreign gentleman?
I think not. Couldn't you just see me, a labourer's wife with no use but to cook and clean? I'd suffocate. I'd die. No. First thing in the morning, I shall apply for a post.
Nom de Dieu!
Since when do you read the newspaper?
Oh, these Teutonic stooges leave one no choice. Ever since that deformed warlock took the throne. All these treaties. When diplomats start signing treaties, you know that war is coming. Even the Americans are sniffing around the continent. It can't end well.
Anything on the international exhibition? I wish to be.
On your way back across the Channel, Patek, racing one step ahead of the Kaiser's armies. But do mind your cards, good Max. You know what a shark our Ciccio can be. Lady Geoffrey Clayton hosts a tango tea to benefit the Haynes charity. Say, atroce, the English dancing the tango. My nom. It cannot be. She has done it. Our own Miss Houghton.
Allez.
Yes. Our LA. Your LA, if you had been man enough to break down her resistance and drag her back to your cave. But no, you waffled. And now she has got herself engaged.
Engaged?
Who to?
Oh, some important man with initials after his name. A man who gets his picture in the Times. A doctor. A famous doctor.
Let me see. Eh?
You will not like it. He is handsome in an overfed kind of way.
He is old.
Older than LA, yes, but not so much. She will not be a widow too soon.
I thought she loved Ciccio.
She did. I know she did. Perhaps she still does. But a man must act boldly, shrewdly, without conscience or mercy.
She does not love this doctor.
I hope not. It is a very troublesome thing to marry for love. Oh, LA had a wildness. I thought she might be one of the few who break away and break free. But deep down, she's still one of them, bourgeois to the core. You must not give her another thought unless...
What?
Oh, I'd already forgotten what it is I was going to say. Oh, what importance is it to us what some spoiled girl from the Midlands does with her life?
Unless what?
Unless your life will be one long histoire tragique without her. Unless you go to her and bare your soul. What do you have to lose?
Let her marry an old man.
A famous man. Rich, no doubt.
But Ciccio has money. He save.
For what? He has no sweetheart. He will go home and buy his terrain and play his mandolin and pine away.
Steal the cards, eh?
You give her up, just like that. What does she want with an old man? She is full of fire. She burns for you.
The cards, Max?
But what about the Nachikitawara? We cannot be a tribe, just two of us.
Oh, wake up! War is coming. It could be just a matter of days, and when it comes, the Nachikitawaras will be scattered, each back to his own homeland.
But we are one nation.
The Nachikitawaras were never real. In the real world, Red Indians live penned up like cattle. The Kaiser has other plans for us.
We have no lawgiver except Kishwegian.
You are too good, Max. You have been a fine brave to Kishwegian, but now we must each think about the future. Ciccio's future is with LA, although he is too much of an ox to do anything about it.
Now you would know, huh?
We have one more engagement booked, and then... how I shall miss my braves. It's enough to break Kishwegian's heart. None to endure another war. We shall be swallowed up. You are an ox and a fool. Who else will want you? You think LA wants to be a doctor's wife? She is waiting to be rescued, and here you sit playing cards.
Now take two.
Max is good. He will find someone. But you, Ciccio, are you listening to me?
Race.
You have been with so many salopes and tarts, but a lady, a real lady like LA. Suddenly you're not so sure of yourself, huh? You have not the balls. You sit!
No one needs to tell me how to be a man.
Touché! I'm glad to hear it.
Sul mare luccica l'astro d'argento, placida l'onda, prospero vento. Sul mare luccica l'astro d'argento, placida l'onda, prospero vento. Venite lagele, barchetta mia, Santa Lucia, Santa Lucia. Venite lagele, barchetta mia, Santa Lucia, Santa Lucia.
Molto bella.
Allez!
Put me down. I'm on duty. I'm just about...
I won't let you go.
Don't be childish. A woman is giving birth. Her husband's in an absolute panic. It's my shift. Is Madame with you? Max?
They have gone home, but Max to Switzerland, Madame to France.
Oh, then that's the end. The end of the Nachikitawara. Oh, I'm awfully sorry. I must go. Wait here. I'll be back.
Cigarette? Oh, I can't take much more. Longest night of my life. It's my wife up there bleating like a sow.
It is normal.
Oh, you're a musician. Wait, spirit. I'm a conductor. You play with the chamber ensemble?
A trio.
Is that you I heard singing earlier? Italian, aren't you? What part?
Napoli, but up in the mountains.
I know the area. Beautiful. But you're a long way from home, Amico. I mean, what brings you here at this hour? Don't tell me. That pretty nurse with the airs, I'll wager.
Miss Houghton, she is a lady.
Well, every inch a lady. But isn't she the one engaged to that mighty I am, toffee-nosed doctor with all the honorary degrees?
She does not love you.
No, I'll wager she doesn't. But when has that ever stopped a woman from marrying? I'm still trying to figure out why my wife married me the way she carries on sometimes. But getting back to your Miss Houghton. Oh, give me strength. I can't say I recommend it. Marriage. Well, that is what you aim to do, isn't it? You'd steal this woman away from her stuffed shirt of a fiancé and marry her.
It is correct, eh?
Well, good luck to you, Amico. You and Miss Houghton. I can't say I readily picture the two of you together, but then again, I never could have imagined myself a father either. So many things happen outside one's imagination. Oh, I suppose I better go up to her. It can't be much longer now.
Goodbye. Good luck. Ti bambino, completamente. Ehi, vai! Boy or a girl?
Girl.
Is it not wonderful, Alai?
The baby?
This night, you and me.
You may as well know. I'm engaged to be married.
I know.
Good. Then you also know that I cannot marry you. It follows.
You will not marry an old man.
I shall marry whom I like.
Come with me to Italy. I have money. You don't go with this other man. He has not the youth. Eh?
He's young enough.
Leave him and come.
I can't. I can't. If you had an iota of sense, you'd know that I can't. I've taken his ring.
It is not such a good ring.
It's not the ring itself. It's who he is and who he knows, and the fact that the engagement's been announced.
Fact. It is not the fact that matters, Alai.
Why do you want me?
Why I want you, I don't know that. Ask me another. Eh?
I can't, I think. I seem to have run out of questions.
No more talk. You come with me. I have a house. A good house. Camera da letto, cucina, salotto. So big it is. We live good. Eh?
I don't know. And my work?
As you like. The babies, they are everywhere. Come with me, Alai.
Elope.
See?
Tonight?
Why not?
Why not indeed? If I'm already a lost girl. That is what Miss Frost calls me. And she's right. And what's more, when I'm being honest with myself, I like being lost. Not having to hide behind a prow of noble intentions and not following rules that I've never understood and not always trying to do the sensible thing. As if I've ever known what the sensible thing actually is.
I love you, Alai.
When I'm honest with myself, I find it difficult to find fault with you.
Then you come with me to Italy, yes?
I don't know. Kiss me. Let that decide it. It's hopeless, you know. Hopeless and doomed.
E allora, the war comes. We are all doomed.
Perhaps you're right. Perhaps all our big weighty decisions are only based on so much wishful thinking. But then again... Oh, what's the use? Yes. Yes, I shall go with you.